Fund with the union leader is the funding source for all of the Christmas activity that we put on. The food baskets, the gift cards, the toys, all that kind of stuff is courtesy of Santa Fund. But it takes a great resource to be able to run it, 4, 5, 6 nights a week now between the kids and the teens. It's a week where they feed kids, bring them in after school, and do a whole comprehensive, outreach to the kids. But it takes a great resource to be able to run it, 4, 5, 6 nights a week now between the kids and the teens. And if it weren't for the support of Manchester, we would not be able to do that.
Well, you must be very proud of the work that's being done there.
Absolutely, it's amazing.
I can tell you from my perspective that we're really happy to have a safe place in the community where kids can go to and interact and have positive and healthy activities, because like we all know, the hours that kids are involved in the most dangerous activities are from right after school till 5 or 6 o'clock at night.
That's right.
And in that community, you all have provided a really appropriate response to that. So we're really grateful at OIS.
Thank you.
So now, where did you come to Manchester from when you
I was in Niagara Falls, New York for 7 years.
All right, and similarities, differences between the two communities for you?
Wow, Niagara Falls, New York is an old chemical town. And when the chemical plants left, they left behind polluted soils, buildings, properties people didn't want to touch.
Wow.
The city has gone from about 105,000 in the 70s to about half of that today.
Wow.
And half of that population are seniors or people that are on a fixed income, half of the households in that community. So you have a multiple of social problems or challenges within that community. 1/3 of the families are single parent families. I mean, it's just a multitude of challenge in that community, and not with the resource certainly that Manchester has. The whole state of New York suffers economically with the tax base, et cetera, and people are leaving more than coming in. So we learned a lot there, and of course every place you go prepares you for the next place. And it's great to be here, because here we have tremendous resource, not only in dollars, we have it in volunteers, as alluded to. We have a great staff team in our building. I mean, everybody is just unbelievable in what they bring to the table. And because of that, we're able to do so much with relatively little.
What's your favorite part about working in Manchester?
Wow. I've been dealing with some things in the recent few months as we push into a very busy time of year. And I think, I'm a New Hampshire, I'm a Manchester boy, so that's pretty unusual in Salvation Army circles. I mean, that's certainly a heavy weight there. But to be honest with you, what I've been really processing, I haven't even shared this with my staff, but I think it's the thing that really endears me most right now is the relationships we've made with our staff team and with our volunteer team unto the people that we serve. I think that is absolutely unmatched in a lot of the places where I've come from. We have a great team, like I said. You can't force team. You can model it, but people have to all be willing on their part to come to the table, whether it's a sports team or a workplace. And we certainly have that, and we'll all chip in for the other person in the busy times of year, and not with keeping score. Just this is what we do. We're a family here. We got a mission. We're serving all of these people. In order to get that done, we got to link arms and do it. And I think that's really priceless.
This is a really remarkable time for us economically as a country. It's really, the economy is in the toughest shape it's been in for, 70 years. And I have a father-in-law who is 82, and he talks to me a lot about what it was like to have his formative years be during the Great Depression in the United States. And he said that in the town that he grew up in, that even though that was a time when there was tremendous need, there was a tremendous ability for people to come together and support each other. And in your jobs, both of you, you get to see that probably more than most people do, just people willing to come together.
We see the need side of it, which is ongoing all the time. It's magnified now with the economy, and of course the challenge for us is to try to be a step ahead of that, to be proactive, to be relevant in meeting people's needs. And in fact, tomorrow there's going to be a press conference unveiling a toolkit that has been collaboratively put together by many partners in the community to address people that get laid off after a long time employment. Where do they turn? Where do they go? They do come to us, but they come to us 3 months after they've spent all their savings and every other resource they have, and now the mountain is so big, they thought, well, the Salvation Army, that's for those people, that's for the poor, that's not for me. And, you know, those are the people that have been supporting all of us all along, and we need to be there for them. Otherwise, they'll be on our rolls like the others. So that toolkit goes out tomorrow, and hopefully that'll be a very practical and powerful tool to help people that are in this situation, not knowing where to turn, or people in the future, if it happens, you know, down the road, which probably will. But that's kind of, again, being a team and pulling people together, looking at the needs and being realistic about approaching how we're gonna, you know, tackle these needs.
Well, I know that the people in this community have great need, but there's also great hope with organizations and philosophies like yours in place. Bob, one of the things that you'd mentioned before when we were talking about Kids Cafe was that you have an extremely diverse neighborhood that you're working in now. How has that changed? I mean, you grew up in Manchester, right?
Yes, I grew up in Manchester.
So
It's
tell me a little
changed
bit about-
dramatically. As a matter of fact, I was just talking to one of my former employees that was employed with us, who was one of the first Hispanics in the community, and he just mentioned that, you know, the whites were definitely a minority. Now we're definitely, you know, majority. Now we're definitely a minority. We just ran some stats last week for United Way, and we are pretty, as far as it's pretty equal, right? Came out as being pretty equal as far
Third,
as
a third, a third?
a third, as far as our clientele, based on last year's numbers for Kids Cafe.
So that's a third Caucasian, a third African American,
And
a
a third
third
Hispanic.
Hispanic, and large numbers of the people in the community we serve are refugees now.
Yes.
From all over the globe.
Yes, and when we say the Caucasians, that's, you know, you get some Bosnians mixed in there,
Right.
equation, so you gotta, you know, it's kind of deceiving, because we don't track every nationality, and we primarily keep them in them 3 categories.
How do you think that that has changed your role in Kids Cafe over the last 15 years? How does the changing demographic of the city change the job that Kids Cafe is trying to do?
And the biggest notice is in our food preparation.
I was gonna say, yeah.
You know, pork is pretty much off the menu now.
Oh, pork, okay.
Because once in a great while, but very seldomly. It's really taught us to be very tolerant of other cultures and just trying to learn them. I mean, that's been my biggest take, especially with the African refugees, just learning all the different cultures within the culture.
Right.
So it's been challenging, but, you know, kids adapt really quickly, much quicker than the parents do. So the kids learn, they become Americanized very quickly, as I like to say it. So, you know, working with the kids is a lot easier than, you know, primarily working with the parents.
We at the Office of Youth Services have been concerned for a few years now about the different cultures and possibilities of them actually clashing against each other and having, you know, dramatic kind of violent confrontations with each other or whatever. And as a result, you were actually instrumental in helping us receive some resource from the Department of Justice to try to figure out some ways of strategizing and making our community safe for all young people. And to that mean, you've allowed Carlos Agadello and Mario Pena to come over and work with you both at Kids Cafe and at the Teen Nights. How's that been going?
Been going great. Them 2 guys have really adapted to these kids in this community very quickly. The kids love them. They're very approachable. They've been helping us out in both Kids Cafe and Teens, so it's great to have that extra, you know, professional resource body there to, you know, be proactive with the kids in anything we see, which we have been quite on a few occasions, as you know, been proactive and you know, reacted to things that we've seen coming up to try and divert the possibility of any problems.
Well, I'm really glad that you're letting us work with the kids that are over there, and I'm glad that we're able to make sure that the community is a little bit safer for everybody involved. That's really a huge goal for us. Now, segueing a little bit from Kids Cafe to the Teen Nights, Friday and Saturday nights, let's talk a little bit about that and about that program in the city.
It's a safe haven for youth. Friday and Saturdays, you know, there's not much for the kids to do in the city. You know, and that's one big change that's happened since 15 years ago. There used to be roller rinks, there was, you know, affordable movie theaters, and primarily at one movie theater now. Nothing else for the kids to do. We worked very hard to shut down the under 21, you know, club nights, so it leaves them on the streets. So by being there Friday and Saturday night, it provides them a safe environment to be in with professional adults. Friday night is primarily my staff and volunteers, along with OIS people there to help out manage that crowd, and then on Saturday we're, you know, funded by